Hey guys, Pat here. So we're going to be talking about the Last Jedi trailer. I wasn't going to do a video on this because everyone's done a video on this. I did a reaction video a while ago when that last trailer came out for Last Jedi. The last trailer for The Last Jedi. And everyone seemed to really like what I had to say about it on my channel. I'm not saying the internet did. It didn't get too many hits, but I heard a lot of people say, oh, you pointed out things other people don't point out about the cinematography and the things that Ryan Johnson seemed to be trying to convey with those sort of things. And I try to take that point of view. I try to look at the filmmaking as opposed to just going into all these crazy theories all the time. But I'll go into a few theories here. My main issue talking about this trailer is that, like, if you'll see over here in the corner, if you ever go on YouTube, like, Collider has 10 videos this week about this trailer. It's like Star Wars, The Last Jedi trailer breakdown. Will Luke turn to the dark side? Like they'll do it all week. This is what a lot of movie channels do, media channels. They'll take one news story, like, hey, The Last Jedi trailer, and they'll just milk it for all it's worth. I'm not knocking that. They can do what they want. People want to watch it, but I have no interest in talking about the same trailer like 10 times. So I'm going to try to get it all out of the way in this one video and say my piece. Because here's a couple factors. Everything in this trailer is a lie, I feel. I feel like it's completely manipulative. There's nothing in here that's going to be like the actual final product. Like at all. It's clear those are edits to trick you. It's clear this trailer was made to set up a bunch of things to make you go, oh, is this going to happen? And none of it's true. I'm almost certain the things that I wish were going to happen in this movie that would be cool are not going to happen. One would be Rey turning to the dark side. If Rey turned to the dark side at the end of this movie, and then the third film was about Luke having to go kick the butts of Kylo and Rey, that would be awesome. Luke is the hero in the third film, and it's another Return of the Jedi. Luke has to become Luke Skywalker again. What a great plot twist that would be. That's not happening, even though the trailer's alluding to that. Rey's gonna be blindly good like she was in TFA. Kathleen Kennedy and them are not gonna let Rey go dark. If they do, then kudos to them. I will eat crow and I will say I was wrong. But I think it's more likely that Kylo will turn to the good side. I think that's what the twist is. When Kylo's sticking his hand out at the end of the trailer, I don't think it's Kylo reaching out to Rey saying, join me. I legit think it's him joining her. I think that's what the plot twist is going to be. I think Kylo's going to go to kill Leia, and he's not going to do it. He's not going to kill her like when he killed Han. And then he's actually going to be a hero at the end of this and join up with Rey and them to fight Snoke. Now, I could be wrong about that too, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because there's no way Rey's going to the dark side, so what's that hand thing? Is Kylo just going to ask Rey to go to the dark side and she's going to tell him to screw off? That's the ending of Empire Strikes Back. I don't want the ending of Empire Strikes Back with Luke and Darth Vader. So they better do something with that. To me, it looks like Kylo is legitimately putting his hand out, looking like, hey, I want to go with you. So my theory is Kylo's going to turn good at the end of this movie. That's why he's not wearing the mask anymore. He's conflicted. Ever since he killed Han Solo, he doesn't know what to do. So in this movie, we're going to see the struggle of Kylo Ren. This trailer's very Kylo Ren heavy. I have a different relationship with Kylo Ren than a lot of people because my best friend looks just like Adam Driver. And when when the Girls first started, the Lena Dunham show, and I watched it, the only thing that stuck out to me was Adam Driver. And it's because he lived in an apartment, he looked just like my friend, he acted just like my friend. I mean, exactly. You would think they're brothers, and this isn't just me saying this. Everyone thinks this guy looks like Adam Driver. Everyone always comes up to him and they're like, hey, Kylo Ren. Hey, Justin Long. I think Ezra Miller could have played this part. I actually saw some kind of interview where they're like, who could have played the part better than Adam Driver? And I was like, oh, Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller would have been better in my opinion. Same actor in a lot of ways. They don't let Adam Driver be Adam Driver. He's this very funny, quirky, weird guy, and as Kylo, they're trying to have him be this restrained actor that understates his performance and brings this, like, drama to it. And I think the best scene of Kylo Ren in the first movie is when he's beating his chest, or I guess his abs or whatever, when he gets shot and he's beating his like stomach and the blood's coming out and he's like, "Whoa." That's the best scene with Kylo Ren because that's Adam Driver just getting to be Adam Driver. So let's look at this trailer a little bit. This is directed and written by Ryan Johnson of Brick fame. And I really like Brick, and I really like the Brothers Bloom, and I love the episodes of Breaking Bad he directed. I do not like Looper. I think Looper is a terrible screenplay, but a well-made movie with gorgeous cinematography and great acting. That screenplay is filled with more plot holes. I mean, you could drive a truck through them. there's just one plot hole after another with Looper. Not one thing logically makes any sense in them. It's so convoluted, yet it's one of the most acclaimed sci-fi films of the last decade. It got like overwhelming reviews. So my fear with this movie is it's going to have a lot of plot holes and issues the same Looper did, and it's going to be wonderfully directed by Rian Johnson. He's going to bring a bravura to it, because it looks like that. It looks like he approached this like, I can get by on sheer bravura, like I can come in and just do this as technical and muscle as I possibly can. Because JJ made a JJ movie and kind of a nostalgia fest going back to Spielberg and Lucas. I don't think that's what Rian Johnson's doing here. I think Rian Johnson's trying to make a film, and it feels a little comic booky. There's kind of a pulpy feeling about this. I think Rian Johnson will make a better movie than JJ, but I think in a lot of ways he'll make a more controversial movie. A lot of the early buzz has been praising Mark Hamill and Adam Driver and saying things will happen that are genius. I think there'll be things that people will praise on generic movie blog sites, and audiences will probably praise and love, and I won't like. And that doesn't mean I'm better than anyone. I'm just getting the vibe from this trailer that we're going to get a terrible plot twist. That's what I'm feeling. The whole time I'm feeling from this trailer is what they're going to reveal in this movie is going to be awful. Like, the Force is wrong, Luke's a hack and was wrong, Yoda was wrong, Luke turning to the dark side. Any of those twists I think are absolutely terrible. I don't know what they're doing with this. I feel bad for Rian Johnson. He basically got handed a bunch of crap from JJ and Lawrence Kasdan, and they're like, here, fix this. You have to fix some of these issues. Everyone keeps saying this trailer's brilliant. It's one of the best trailers to come out in a long time. I don't really get that. I think it's an okay trailer, but it's a mess to me of tone. It's like extended scenes played out instead of being a trailer. And I don't like how it's manipulated to make you think things are going to happen that aren't going to happen. I don't appreciate that. I get it's marketing, and I always complain in my box office stream that they don't give you a hook, and this trailer certainly has a hook. But I don't care if there's a lot of great early buzz for this movie. There's plenty of films that get like 95% on Rotten Tomatoes that I don't like. Force Awakens got rave reviews. It was loved. A lot of films get, the Avengers, the first Avengers was a very acclaimed movie. And I like that movie, but I don't think it's great. So I have no doubt this will get like 95% on Rotten Tomatoes and everyone will say it's brilliant. But I'm still not hyped for this movie. I wish I could be, because I do like the director and I like a lot of the stuff I've read, but this just didn't sell it for me. I only really like the look of the film. Unfortunately, I am getting a lot of Empire Strikes Back vibes. It does look like Johnson's taking some influence from Irvin Kershner's directing choices, and I really notice in the lighting choices and so on, because Empire had very unique cinematography within Star Wars. I talked about this last week in a video, and this film does kind of stand out in that way visually apart from some of the other films. So it's very interesting to think about that, but there's nothing wrong with having influence from Empire. I think that's fine. It just depends on if Rian Johnson sticks the structure close to Empire. Then we might have an issue. If this film suffers in a lot of the ways TFA did with being close to New Hope, that is not a good thing. We do not need that, because that'll almost make it certain that the next film's going to be Return of the Jedi. And I can't believe Disney would be that lazy. This film has a lot riding on it. I feel like the whole future of Star Wars is on this film. And even though it might be successful in the moment, I'm not sure how this is going to affect the future, because Rian Johnson's gone. It's weird. It's like J.J. Abrams is going to make 2 films, and then we're going to have this middle film here. Is it going to be more of a standalone movie, or is it going to work? Is its purpose going to be as a sequel? I'm not sure. Let's watch a little bit of it. Here's this opening shot that very much looks like Darth Vader looking out from Empire and that other stuff. It's Kylo Ren. When I found you. Here's the AT-ATs. Then this looks like the shot from Empire Strikes Back when they're on Hoth. Which I don't mind. But yeah, my only issue with this shot, it's a very beautifully lit shot. I love this. These look like CGI as hell to me. Like, they look really fake. This is just a trailer shot, so I'm not saying they'll look bad in the movie, but man, that is not good CGI. The rest of the movie has good-looking CGI, but I'm not really sold on this. I don't like, that just looks fake. I mean, maybe it's just me. That looks a little fake to me. I don't actually... I thought the ones in Rogue One looked a lot better. Or just the... Were these in Rogue One? I don't know, but I remember Rogue One, that final third act, all the CGI in the trailer looked really good. I don't like how this looks. It looks really that these ones especially look fake to me, but that that doesn't mean in the final movie they won't look great. That's just a trailer nitpick. I'm not saying that matters. It doesn't. I like this stuff. The red. I like the red coming in here on the right. These shots are beautiful. These are like way better than what JJ was doing in Force Awakens. JJ just did a lot of moving camera. I mean, watch Force Awakens. The camera spins around like every sequence. And I was kind of disappointed them shooting it on film and all that didn't look as good as I was expecting. This film looks amazing. I love that. The white with the red and all there. That's gorgeous. Very nice looking stuff. Kylo here with the black with the red background. That's very good. I love just the strength of the color popping. It's red, evil, dark, conflicted. The blue is light. I said that in the last trailer. It's blue and red, but the red here looks amazing. I like how simple this is. Johnson's not overdoing it. He's just letting it be. It feels closer to space opera than Force Awakens did to me. Force Awakens reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy in a lot of ways, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That was a good idea, but this looks more like what I would expect from the drama from Star Wars to me, iconic images from Star Wars, the iconography that's so wonderful. I like this. It's just a red background and a guy in a black suit, and the red really conveys his, I don't know, what's inside here in a lot of ways. It's very there's definitely a red color scheme throughout all this trailer. And it's in the posters too. A lot of red. Now here's the blue. The blue sky and the blue lightsaber, and the lighting's a little blue tinted. That's very interesting here. So I'm wondering if Johnson's actually going to do different color filters and stuff like that depending on the scenes. Like, is all the stuff with Luke and Rey for a while going to look like this, and then the movie goes on and it's going to get that kind of red and white shadowy look in the smoke and all that? I think that's cool. I do like that. At least visually, I think this is much better than what's come out recently. Although Rogue One was a very good looking movie. I did like that. They did a great job with making it actually look old school and modern at the same time. There's that Lucasfilm banner. There we go. I will say, I love the music in this part. I'm trying not to play audio, because I don't want to get a copyright, but this music here, that that like, if that's John Williams' score, this already sounds better. That's awesome, and I like this shot a lot. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It's something I just like the look of this a lot better than Force Awakens. I didn't hate how Force Awakens looked, but this just looks a lot better. These shots, that's a way cooler shot than anything in Force Awakens. That's awesome. Luke standing up there in the silhouette. It reminds me of the Highlander when McLeod's training with Sean Connery. They're up there training, and you see them fight, and the camera comes around. There's going to be a montage in this movie. There has to be a montage. Like that. That's a really cool shot, just stopping there, and then you kind of feel the energy of it. And then Luke's all like, I saw this raw power before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now. Like, gee, Mark Hamill's in full, like, I have gone crazy acting mode. He's the one thing in this trailer I really like, acting-wise. Like, I don't think Daisy Ridley's a great actress like everyone said she was. It was so weird. She got so overrated in Force Awakens. Like, Rey's character sucked, in my opinion, but everyone also said, like, yeah, but Daisy Ridley's great and charismatic. I'm like, when? Where was that? I thought she was very bland. I thought Mark Hamill was kind of bland in the first movie, but he did have charisma, and Harrison Ford carried a lot of it. I don't think... He got better, obviously. Mark Hamill became a great actor. I think he's terrific now. But you go back and watch New Hope, and it's like, you say that every year. It's not great. But Daisy Ridley, I don't get it at all. I don't think she's a great actor. She seems to only know two facial expressions. And her voice and how she acts, I'm not... Her physical acting's very good, but I don't really get this, like, she's a great actress. It's like, no, I think we're still out on that. I think we can't really... Oscar Isaac's a great actor. Sure. John Boyega's just coming off annoying to me. I liked him in the first movie, but he was just kind of there. But even seeing him here, it's like, oh, this guy's really starting to get annoying. Like, everyone always tries to say he's like a young Denzel, but I don't know, I just get this vibe, like, he's just too... It's like he overacts. I don't know. Oh, God. The hand coming out. That's cool. It's the Terminator shot. That's so Terminator. You know, it'd be funny if Luke hand sinks at the end. He's like in lava and he gives the thumbs up from Terminator 2. That'd be pretty sweet. So they are going to go back to that dream sequence thing from Force Awakens where Luke loses his whole school and Kylo comes and kills. I don't know how this is going to play out in the movie. Like, is Kylo going to come and kill everyone while Luke's like I'm not really sure how this plays out, because theoretically Luke should be powerful enough to beat the crap out of Kylo and a bunch of guys in the Knights of Ren and all that. I'm not sure what the plot. Some people think Kylo's the one that took Rey to Jakku. So he's scared that Rey has the raw power that Kylo had, and he's not going to deal with that again because of what happened with Kylo, who killed Han Solo and basically destroyed everything. So he doesn't want to train Rey because of her raw power. Which makes me think, I would like to think that means the dark side is taken over, and the Last Jedi actually means Luke Skywalker is the Last Jedi, and there's nothing but Sith. But I have this weird feeling the Last Jedi's Kylo, and I don't know why. So yeah, this is the scene where he smashes the map. Now, I thought the scar was gone. Rian Johnson said he was removing the scar from the movie, and that Kylo wasn't going to have it. Now he's moved it to the other side, and Kylo has some stuff covering it up. It's on the other side of his face. Weird choice. It's a very strange aesthetic choice. Like, I don't even think it looks that cool. Like, I like this stuff. I like seeing Kylo without his helmet on and just being him. That's what makes me think he might turn good, is that he's struggling. But God, that looks so... That's just a weird thing. Like, I don't hate it, but it's just like, what? Like, it just looks... It looks like he has some crap on his face. Like, he needs to wipe it off. This is the big scene everyone likes, where he's just looking at Leia, and he's all like, is he gonna shoot her? Which, this feels like editing, or Kylo's not going to do this. Like, this could be even a trick in the movie. Like, they make you think he's gonna blow up Leia's ship, and then he does, and you find out Leia's on another ship. She's not on the one that this editing tricked you into. This is the shot from Return of the Jedi when they're going through the Death Star. That's the exact same shot, pretty much, just kind of from a different angle and with better effects. But here's that red again. Lots of red. I'm not sure how this stuff's going to tie in, but I feel like it's very important to the movie itself. Here comes the Pokemon. If you have Pokemon Go or anything like that, and if you get your Pokemon and you click it, it actually does this sound in this thing. Like, it goes... And it like, this is exactly what the Pokemon do in Pokemon Go. It's kind of ridiculous. It's exactly like... Is Chewie CGI here? I've heard Chewie CG there, because he doesn't look real. He looks fake. Are they doing CG Chewie? Is he going to be mocap? Not a lot of Poe and Finn in this, and I really like Poe. Poe's easily the best new character, Oscar Isaac, and it might just be the actor. Here's Phasma, that character that everybody loves like Boba Fett because her costume's cool even though she's boring. Look, she has more to do. That shot's kind of awesome, though. That is awesome when she has, like, the thing come out. That's great. Although this goes back to the Traitor scene from Force Awakens. This looks almost exactly the same as Traitor! So I don't kind of like that. It's a little too similar for me. But that doesn't mean it won't be... What the hell is this? What is this, card captors? Yeah, I don't know what these, like, ice foxes are. This is... Although it's cool to see new stuff in Star Wars. What... Yeah, there's this red stuff everywhere. What is that stuff? Is that, like... Are those, like, crystals or something where they get red lightsabers? Is that the... I don't know if that's what it is. It's... Yeah, all of these shots are so reminiscent of Empire Strikes Back for me. I don't like that. This all looks like Empire Strikes Back to me. The framing and all that stuff. This looks like the Battle of Hoth, but in the desert instead of in the snow. Snoke looks like Snoke. I still don't know if there's a plot twist that Snoke ends up being someone. I don't know who he'd be. A lot of people think he's Palpatine and all that. It's pretty good CGI, if that's CGI. That's pretty good. But I have no idea who he's supposed to be. If he's just some guy that always existed, God, that comes off like fan fiction. That shot of Rey, once again, that to me proves that Daisy Ridley's a bad actress. Just look at this. She's terrible here. She's opening her mouth as wide as possible. She's squinting her eyes. She's trying to act and shake, and it just doesn't sell it to me. Like, this should be horrifying looking, and all I could see is a actress trying to be like, "Ah!" Like, this is making me cringe. Daisy Ridley's faces make me cringe. Like, that's so cringe to me. I don't like anything about that. I think that looks awful. It looks cool as a special effect, but, like, I don't buy it at all. Like, it's so, ugh. I hate it. I really do. I don't like that shot at all. I don't like Daisy Ridley's facial act. Even here, she's so boring. She's like, to show me my place in all this. And just that boring, like, Sigourney Weaver was killer at moments like this. You could just bring so much to it. And this is just like, I do think she'll be better in this movie because Rian Johnson's is a very good director and he might be able to give her something. But, like, I think she's just a limited actress. I don't think she has a lot of range. Like, she's just kind of there. It's bland. Like, this is the same face she did through all Force Awakens. This is just it. She just does this. She just looks at you like this, and it's not... We're like, Adam Driver's doing way more acting in his eyes right there, and that big honker of a nose he has. He's doing more acting right there than she's doing. You go back and look here. She's just staring. You don't get anything. He's like, you feel something. He's doing so much there. That's an actor. That's somebody who can change their faces and move around. Daisy really can't do that. And then we get the hand scene. Here we go. Yep, take my hand, baby. So there we go, The Last Jedi, the trailer that everyone loves. They think is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's okay. It's not bad. You know, it's a better trailer than the last one, I think. And the last one got everyone hyped, and this one's gives you more of a plot, and you kind of feel like, hey man, something might go down in this. You know, somebody might die. There's some, you know, I don't think Leia's gonna die, but you know, Luke may die. Snoke may die. I mean, you know, Rey could die. I hope Rey dying would be amazing. Oh my god, please. You can tell the end shot's a trick, but everyone's pointed that out. She's in a different location, obviously, than Kylo. The background that she has is not the same as Kylo Ren. He's where there's, like, fire and stuff, and she's where... I don't know where the hell she is. She looks like she's in the cave with Luke, I think. I don't even think she's with Kylo in that scene. Everyone's so hyped for this movie, and I just can't get excited for it. I really wish I could. I was excited for Force Awakens. Maybe I'm just burnt out on Star Wars. It does feel like it's trying so hard to be dramatic. It feels so, to me, like it's on the edge of being a little of soap opera. Like, this is trying so hard to be dramatic. Like, I think if they actually committed to killing Rey, or if they made Rey go dark, that would be like some Game of Thrones stuff and be awesome. But I have this odd feeling this film's gonna... It looks like it's gonna be interesting, but I just don't know. I think it's going to have some great action scenes. I think this stuff's going to really be awesome as a set piece. It looks gorgeous. I love the color. I love all the special effects here look phenomenal. I like this shot a lot. I think Poe's going to be great in it. I think Kylo's going to have a pretty cool little story arc. Carrie Fisher already looks better in this movie than she did in All Force Awakens, where she couldn't even move her lip. And she just kind of looked awful with how they lit her. And here she's lit very well, and the makeup's nice, and she just looks a lot more... She just feels more powerful than she did. She feels like Princess Leia. I like that a lot. Mark Hamill looks completely engaged and in character. And I love this stuff like this. The faces he's making and stuff. He looks great. I think Mark Hamill's going to be a real pleasure to watch in this, no matter what they do with him. I think he's just going to really commit to, because he's a guy he's honing his craft in for years. He's a guy who's only gotten better as an actor with time, and I think this is going to be his best performance in a lot of ways. I think he's going to be amazing in this. And I mean performing as just an actor, you know, because the Joker, his voice acting's off the charts, and he's also good in Miyazaki's Castle in the Sky as the villain. I don't know. I don't like Rey's out. She seems so OP. They made her so strong in Force Awakens. The fact that they're trying to make her like she's getting trained here and stuff like that. What's the point? And Luke's overwhelmed by her powers. He's just like, yeah, you're too strong. I'm staying away from you. It's like, okay. So what is it? Does Rey and Kylo just have this raw, insane power that no one else had before them? And it's like the Force is reached another level. It just feels convoluted. I don't feel like this is an organic step from Force Awakens. I don't really buy it at all. I feel like they still needed to explain the First Order and where they came from, who the hell is Snoke, all that crap that just felt like it was slapped together. Luke going off on his own, Han and Leia being broken up, having this son that ran off and got corrupted by Snoke. All of it, none of it makes any sense so far. It's all over the place. It feels like a bunch of ideas without a cohesive whole. I'm not sure that this film will fix that, because once again, I'm going back to Looper, and Looper is filled with plot holes. I mean, almost every other scene in that movie is a plot hole. That's like, there's no logic in Looper. It's even a dumb idea of how they get rid of the bodies and how it happens. It's so convoluted. I think Johnson's a great dialogue writer. Brick's amazing. It's one of my favorite movies, and I think he's a great director, but that doesn't mean this script will be great. And everyone loved Looper, and I think it's flawed as hell. So I could see this being the same way for me, where people are going, man, wasn't that amazing? And I'm like, let's point out all the issues. However, maybe Rian Johnson's perfect for Star Wars. Maybe he will come in and do an Irvin Kershner-esque job. Maybe he will make it more moving and more, I don't know, just introspective, more makes you think about things a little bit. You know, like when Luke sees his face in Darth Vader's helmet on Dagobah, that kind of stuff. Those things that felt like Bergman, those things that felt almost European. They didn't feel like American things. Like Empire didn't feel like an American film in a lot of ways. I think he'll probably use some of the Kurosawa influence more so than Abrams did. I think that Johnson probably gets that Star Wars came from a Kurosawa place, and I think the structure of this might actually go in line with the Kurosawa-esque film. That's the vibe I'm getting to. I think Johnson will try to do something like that with structure. Visually, I adore it. I think he did a terrific job. This is his regular cinematographer, and it looks good. I think the editing and all that'll be good. I don't know. J.J. Abrams, I don't know. It just looked like it. I honestly like the look of Star Trek Into Darkness a lot more than I liked Force Awakens. I thought Star Trek Into Darkness had better special effects, and like, I didn't like the movie any better. The writing's terrible, but the actual filmmaking I thought was a lot better than Force Awakens. It's like it didn't look like a $250 million movie to me. The CGI was great, but like sometimes it looked like the sets were cheap or the costumes. I don't know. This film looks a lot less cheap to me. It looks kind of awesome visually. They have that font from the last trailer from, well, they always do Christmas. So, will this be a great movie? Will it be a good movie? Will it be okay? Here's my predictions. Audiences will love it. It'll be a good movie. And a lot of people will hate it, just like they hated Force Awakens. And the debate about Disney owning Star Wars and Lucasfilm and everything that's happening will continue. I think Han Solo is more likely to be suffering from production issues. This apparently was a very smooth production, this movie, and everybody got along really well. So hopefully that comes across. Force Awakens, JJ did clash with Kathleen Kennedy, and they did have issues and do reshoots, and Rogue One had reshoots. I don't think this had a lot of reshoots. I think this was very much Ryan wrote a movie, he went and directed it, and it went well. I don't know, I usually agree with Mark Hamill on this stuff when he talks about these things. I think he's very on point. Still, what do I have to say? What's my final thing to say here? Well, I think if this movie isn't the greatest Star Wars film ever, and I hate to put that hype on it, I think it legitimately has to be as good as Empire, if not New Hope. Like, it has to be as good as the first two. Because if this film is another film that plays like a blockbuster, that's continuing this kind of reboot quasi-sequel thing, I don't know. I think this will hurt the brand. I don't think it'll hurt it initially. I think this movie will make a lot of money, like at $1.5 billion. I don't think it'll make Force Awakens money. But after that, will there be enough hype going into the third movie? And with the Han Solo flick and all these flicks they want to make, I think they need to slow down and not make the spin-off movies. I wouldn't have made Han Solo and all that. Then the hype could build from this movie to the third film over 2 years. Instead, we're going to get a Star Wars film next year before that, you know, and that's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like there's no sense of hype because we know there's a new Star Wars film coming out every year. And after the next film of the trilogy, they're going to continue making Star Wars films. It doesn't feel as precious as it would. You know, like when the original trilogy came out, the first one came out in 77, then Empire came out in 80, and then Return came out in 83. And with that, you kind of had this sense of like, wow, are they going to make it? And then you waited 3 years and then it came out. This one, they're doing like a 2-year thing, each movie. And I don't know, it's going to be weird because it's not one person's vision throughout all movies, and there's not someone like a George Lucas behind the scenes with a lot of it working with the crew. This is Rian Johnson, the first movie's Abrams, and then the third film's going back to Abrams and a bunch of different people who worked on a screenplay. Hopefully Rian Johnson can come back in and actually do some writing to keep some consistency. And JJ said once he read the script he was so jealous, and it's like, well yeah, JJ, you're a crappy writer. Lawrence Kasdan's writing really disappointed me. I actually like some of the ideas in the original script they threw out there, but still, those are my last thoughts on this. I don't want to talk anymore about this movie and the trailers and the stuff they release. I'm not going to make a dozen videos about it where I'm just talking about bullcrap Reddit theories over and over again, because ultimately none of us know what's going to be in the movie. It could be something that none of us have predicted yet. But I get the vibes, terrible plot twist is coming. That like the light side of the Force was wrong. Luke's evil, Luke turning bad. I think those are all so silly and feel fan fiction-y. The only thing that would be cool to me is if Rey turned to the dark side. If she did that, I think that would be awesome. But if she did do that, this trailer spoiled it, which I don't think they would release if that was the case. So that's the biggest thing going against it. Should I talk about, you know, SJWs and feminism and all that, Kathleen Kennedy? Because a lot of people like to complain about that, the feminist awakens and all that stuff. Well, That criticism I think somewhat valid because Kathleen Kennedy clearly is a shallow producer in a lot of ways. The best things she ever worked on were done by Spielberg and other guys who were, talented, more talented than her in a lot of ways, and they did great than her husband, Frank Marshall. So do I think she tries to shove her politics down your throat a little bit, or she's trying to kill the legacy of Han Solo and Luke and these great male characters and making Leia and Rey the only heroic characters anymore? I've heard that theory, and I guess I can see somewhat what people mean. I think it's less that. I think it's more that they think Rey was brilliant as a piece of representation, and that even Max Landis has come out and said he apologized for calling her Mary Sue, even though I think that was one of the most valid criticisms ever put on that film. Max Landis has said he regrets saying it, and it was a gender term, and he didn't realize how beautifully Rey was as representation. Then I just started going, okay, what about Kill Bill? What about Gravity? What about all these female-driven films that have been Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Hermione? I don't know what makes Rey different from the bride in Kill Bill. Quentin Tarantino, and I'm not even going to go back to Sarah Connor and Ripley. I'm going to do modern movies. Tarantino made a movie with an awesome female lead that looked great with a katana, and Uma Thurman was she looks like a badass. And he wrote that, and I'm not even a big Kill Bill fan, but he wrote those movies and directed them and made an awesome female action hero in a genre where it wasn't women. It was martial arts kung fu movies. Okay, we've seen a female lead in sci-fi action films many times. And I hate to harp on Gravity, because Gravity's another film I don't love, but Gravity had a female lead as an astronaut, scientist, who survives through intelligence. And then you have Katniss Everdeen. Nothing about Rey is as interesting as any of those characters. She's not better than any of those characters. She's a bland hero's journey character. She's much more bland than Luke ever was, because Luke, it was the details that made Luke interesting. That he was on Tatooine, and that his father was who he was, and that he had the gun the way he did, and that he was good at shooting things. He was a really good shot, which, I shot swamp rats, and then womp rats, or whatever the hell he says. And that Luke was really good at these things, but he wasn't good at everything. He screwed up a lot, and he was dumb and whiny, but then you saw him develop into Empire to become more mature and get better with the Force. And then by Return of the Jedi, he's very mature and collected it. He knows what's going on. He uses the good side to win, ultimately. He finally realizes that it's not about the lightsabers and the fighting, it's about the peace. He has that moment that's like, hey, I'm not gonna kill my father for you. But that ultimately is what defeats the Emperor and brings balance to the Force. Rey starts out the first movie, she's just awesome. And I know you're going to say, Luke was too. No, he wasn't. That's not true. Luke wasn't that awesome. He didn't know how to fly the Millennium Falcon better than Han. He didn't know everything better than Han did. He wasn't constantly right. People messed with Luke. Okay, Rey gets loved by Han. He's loved. Leia hugs Rey instead of Chewie. Everyone's obsessed with her. Poe falls in love with her right away. Not Poe, I mean Finn falls in love with her right away. As soon as he meets her, he's like, wow, you're amazing. It's like, why? What makes her so special? BB-8 falls for her. People seem to forget that Luke didn't like R2 and C-3PO at first, and they kind of annoyed him. And then they all kind of got put on this journey together they didn't want to go on. Everyone likes Rey. There's no character dynamics. There's never a moment like where Leia's like, aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper? She gives Luke attitude. Nobody gives Rey any attitude. She's just like, F you, I'm Rey. I'm awesome. I made bread. And I sit there. The only moment I like with Rey in the first movie is when she puts the helmet on, and it's like Nausicaa. It feels like Miyazaki. And then J.J. Abrams totally drops that. He has this wonderful idea. Let's do Rey like a Miyazaki character. That's genius. She should be like Kiki or Nausicaa or Chihiro. That's genius. Miyazaki has some of the best female characters. Once again, I love let's bring up Miyazaki, who has an endless filmography of genius female lead characters outside of a couple movies like Ashitaka and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, okay, that was such a great idea for Abrams, the scavenger stuff. It's like, let's make her Nausicaa. It's like, that's so smart. Nausicaa's and then he drops that. She quits being Nausicaa about halfway through. She doesn't cry like Nausicaa did. She doesn't suffer. She doesn't feel pain. Rey seems to overcome every situation she gets into. She's able to overcome Kylo Ren and beat the crap out. It's the biggest mistake in them. The two biggest mistakes in Force Awakens that are going to hurt this movie with anything Johnson's trying to do is that Rey beat Kylo, which takes out almost all the stakes in this movie. Even if they fight again and Kylo wins, the stakes are gone because she already defeated him. It should have been that Kylo was about to kill Rey, and then that separation happens, and she's saved by that, and then gets away. Instead, they had it where she pretty much is about to kill Kylo Ren. She's about to beat the crap out of him. It's terrible. It's just a terrible choice. And Han Solo's death fell completely flat. It was flat. It was telegraphed. It was boring. It was dull, and it hurts the pathos going in. This shot the Johnson has here with the gun with Kylo in the ship going to shoot later. That's more powerful than it was in Force Awakens. That's so bad. It's so oh my god, it's badly done. I can't believe how poor Abrams did that scene with Han Solo. It's like Han just goes out like a wimp. It's so obvious. Oh god, horrible scene. Really, just so poorly done. And if those things didn't happen, if Rey would have gotten beat and Han's death would have been emotional, this movie would be more exciting to me. However, I know I'm going to go in there. I'm not mad at Kylo Ren for killing Han because it didn't sting me. I didn't care. I didn't care when Han died. And I definitely did not care about Kylo or Rey's fight. I thought it was ridiculous. They didn't even do anything clever. They didn't have Rey like use her at the beginning she's fighting with the staff. They didn't even have it where she rigs kind of a lightsaber staff out of stuff in the trees or that and beats Kylo with the skills she used earlier in the movie. She's just a master with the lightsaber, a different kind of fighting technique altogether that Kylo should be really good at. And Kylo should at least be stronger with the Force. We saw him stop a blast in midair in the first film. Here's a cooler Han Solo death in my opinion. Earlier in the film, right, they show Kylo Ren stop the blast from the gun, and then he holds it in the air. Here's a cool death. What if he stopped a blast from Han Solo's gun, and they got Han Solo to him, and then he slowly pushed the blast into, like, Han Solo's chest? Like, Han Solo shoots the gun, and then Kylo stops it. They have their dialogue, and then you see Kylo slowly shove it into Han. Because we know he can control these things. So what if he was so you're slowly watching Han's own blaster kill him, his own attack, where he tried to shoot his son, which I think would have been more closer to Han Solo. Han Solo going like, well, I can't save you, so it's up to me to kill you. You're my kid. I'm going to take care. Which would have made Han go out like a badass. And then Kylo, you see him slowly shove it into the chest of Han Solo and watch him slowly die. Way more effective, plus it ties back to his powers of earlier. Then he goes in and defeats Rey. She holds her own okay, and then she's about to get killed by Kylo, and then the thing separates the ground. And then the movie would be pretty good. That'd be a pretty good ending. Instead, Han's death is like, here, hold my lightsaber, Dad. I'm going to turn it on in your chest, and then I'm not going to emote. Because I decided not to act in this. And that should have been the first time he took his helmet off, too. The fact they had him take his helmet off earlier in the movie. Ugh, he takes it off so early. They should have waited till that moment where Han's like, Ben! Because that would be so much more effective. He yelled out Ben, and then you saw the mask come off, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's just like a kid. Instead, you already know what Kylo Ren looks like. Why is he even wearing the mask anymore? Lazy Abrams. Lazy Abrams. I don't think Johnson's going to slap a movie together. I think he has a movie here. Whether I like it or not's up in the air, but that doesn't mean that my opinion means nothing. So, I will review this movie, I will talk about it, and I'll see what happens. And to let you guys know, I don't hate Force Awakens. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I just think it's a painfully mediocre one, which in a lot of ways is worse. There's just nothing unique about it. It's very much a film I've seen a lot, or a film I've read a lot on forums and stuff like that, and it didn't really do anything that surprised me. Not even one thing in that movie surprised me. So, will The Last Jedi be good or bad? Who knows? But I'll be watching my VHS tapes of the original trilogy no matter what. And, because that's pretty much the only way you really get to see them. Or those crappy DVD the releases they released where the quality's awful. It looks like 480. Disney, release those damn OT Blu-rays. What the hell? I want the original cuts on Blu-ray. Jesus Christ, can you just drop the special... I'm tired of turning on the TV and seeing the special editions. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Leave your opinion in the comment section. Like and subscribe. And, I don't know. What do you guys think about The Last Jedi trailer? Do you like it? And you excited about the movie? Because, I'm telling you guys, I just don't feel it. I just don't. I thought this trailer was kind of all over the place. I thought it was structured weird. I thought the tone was weird. I think it tries to be goofy, funny, and exciting like an adventure, but also be dramatic. And I don't know if the juxtaposition works. But that's just me.